Cardinal family, welcome to another CPS, CIA, FYI update. I know I'm going to ramble on this one, but I do think I'm going to get to a coherent spot at the end. But I have a lot of ideas floating around in my head, and I want to try to tell them all together. In fact, I wrote down everything that I'm going to talk about in some capacity. We're going to talk about feedback. We're also going to talk about jazz and poetry and the phrase good job and grading and reporting. I'm going to try to link all that together. And I think I can. So hang with me and we'll see how this goes. So I really love jazz. It's not a lifelong thing. I used to hate it. I didn't really figure it out until I was in my 40s. But now drives my wife nuts because if she comes home, the Spotify is already rolling with some Charlie Parker. I love it. I'm trying to, and I think I've got them. My sons are digging the jazz too, which we're building team jazz in the Stecker household. Anyway, why I'm talking about jazz is because there's a movie called Whiplash that I've been somewhat obsessed with lately. Now, it is a movie about jazz. It's also a movie about teaching. And I don't recommend watching it as a model for what good instruction is. That's not what it's about. But it's super interesting, and there's one part, there's a thing that drives this instructor in jazz. And he tells this story about Charlie Parker, who I just mentioned, Bird Lives, quintessential, amazing jazz musician. And he talks about, and I don't know if this is all true or if it's legend or what it is, but I still like the story. So the story is that I believe Charlie was playing with some ensemble and someone else in the band was not satisfied with the way he was playing. So he took a cymbal like from the drum kit and threw it at him. It's like, you can do better. That's not good enough. And I don't remember if it's the legend that Charlie Parker said it or it's this instructor said it. But he said the most damaging phrase in the English language is good job, because good job is the enemy of excellence. I think there's merit to what he's saying about good job, but I also think he's wrong, because if you happen to go watch Whiplash, which only watch it if you're okay with a lot of profanity, this instructor's notion is I need to hold people to such a high standard that the ones that can't hack it will leave, will quit, and in doing this, I will find excellence. I will find the next Charlie Parker. Interesting plot device for a movie. Not a good way to run education, but I do think it's really interesting how he talks about just saying good job isn't a good thing. And I don't agree with the notion that, hey, we're going to eliminate good job from our vocabulary because we only want excellence. We only want to find the Charlie Parkers in the world. That's not what we're about. We're about lifting everybody up. But what I do think is problematic with feedback like good job is it's not very specific. It doesn't tell me anything. There's times when people say good job, and I'm glad to hear it, but it doesn't help me do my job better. It doesn't help me repeat what was good. It doesn't help me avoid what was not good. So in that same vein, moving from jazz to poetry, I also love poetry. And one of my all-time favorite poets is a gentleman by the name of Don Welch, who was a great Nebraska poet that we lost back in 2016. And in my younger days, I got invited to perform at a poetry reading where Don Welch was also reading. And after it was done, Don Welch pulled me aside and he did not say good job. He said, I see what you did there. And I want to make sure that you know what you did. That line was really funny. But what you were talking about was so much bigger than the funny. But the funny is what let people in and led them to what was bigger. And it blew me away. It blew me away that he took that time to talk to me, that he was that detailed, that he had listened that closely, that he sought me out. And to have him say, here's why that was good, and you might not know it, and I want to make sure that you do. That was so much more valuable than good job. I mean, that was probably 10 years ago, and I've never forgotten it. So when we are looking at feedback, it's really easy to say good job, and sometimes that's what people need to hear. is good job. We can do way better than good job. And if we are specific about what it is that we appreciate in that feedback, people learn from that. Our students learn from that. We learn from providing feedback with that kind of specificity. Last thing that I said, we're going to mention this all rolls into grading and reporting. So in February, we are getting a grading and reporting task force going. I know we've invited some people to participate in that. And really, I want us to be able to overall provide feedback that's meaningful, that's specific, that's consistent, that students, parents, teachers can all look at that feedback and know what it means. Good job, we don't know what that means. Hey, that was funny, but what you said was bigger than funny. But funnies won't let them into the bigger. It's really specific. I don't know how that translates to a report card. That's something we're going to need to work on. But I know what I would love for you to do is when you are providing feedback and when you're providing that positive reinforcement, give it a run and see what kind of mileage you get out of doing something that's more specific than just good job, but really lets the students know you were watching and listening, and I'm going to give you something back that's meaningful, that's going to help you grow and let you know I understand what's going on with you. All right, that's all I have. Thanks for hanging in on a rambling update. I think I brought it all together. I hope that was a good job. We'll find out. Take care, guys.